Middleman.
Hello and welcome to today's episode of The Middlemen of Jurors. I am Olajumoke Alawode James. On the show today are jurors Innocent Aduluba, who has some love for local football coaches, Cyril Abaku, who has a rider on the national question, and the only one from Rabbi, Evans Ufeli, who has a worry about the bloodbath in OKUAMA. I will be asking where Nigeria's gods are. But all of these cases we will discuss when we come back from the short break. Please stay with us. We'll be right back.
Middleman.
My case today, where are Nigeria's gods? I've made a few people uncomfortable by constantly talking about the Christian God and how religion is being used as a tool of oppression by the people I call pastorpreneurs. I've been corrected that there are more men of God doing God's work quietly. The fake ones just stand out like a sore thumb. Yet, if I talk about insecurity, how since Chibok girls' abductions 10 years ago, the APC government who used their abductions to criticize the President Jonathan to high heavens, over 1,400 students have been abducted, you will say this Jumoke just likes to repeat herself. I'm sorry. We're talking about human lives. It can never become just statistics for me. Also, if I talk about budget padding with 3 trillion naira, where our senators are fighting themselves on how to share the loot, saying padding is within their rights, you will say, is budget padding new? Which government doesn't steal? Okay, I want to ask why Nigerians are docile. Does democracy mean that the only way to hold the government accountable is to leave everything to God? Even in the days of monarchy, we didn't question the monarchs. There were systems in place to curb the excesses of leaders, and there were repercussions for becoming tyrants. Are we so afraid of speaking out and being arrested like Omoyele Sowore or detained for yonks like Nnamdi Kanu? Why do we accept maladministration and only shout on social media? Is God going to come down to protest for us? More importantly, before Christianity and Islam were imported, Nigerians had their traditional ways of worship. Where are the Nigerian gods and their deities? Is Shango no longer sending thunder? Is Amadioha now calm? My verdict. We lost our way when we accepted the religion of our colonialists, said their form of government is superior to ours, and have now become a confused people. Salah.
Well, I think you have, Jiro Jumoke, you have dropped a fantastic case. I didn't get your verdict proper, but if I get your introduction and the midpoint of your case, you are asking a very important question. Where are the Nigerian gods?
Yes, no. Where's Amadioha?
Which presupposes that you are asking whether the deities as we know them
I've become quiet.
with their fangs of retributive justice, whether they are still alive or dead, and whether they should be docile while our girls are taken from Chibok to Kaduna to different places and insurgents making the round. So the truth is that we need to backtrack and ask which of the gods have we subscribed to before we then begin to talk about which God do we want to safeguard us. If it were for the God of the Bible, I know that in the Bible, that sometime in the Bible, the household of David were taken away by insurgents. Yes, they were taken away completely. And David knelt down and asked the Lord of hosts whether I should pursue or not. And there was an approval.
Will I overtake?
Yes, there was an approval that he should do so, and he recovered. Now,
is it that Nigerian pastors are no longer asking God questions?
We have not asked which God we subscribe to, so we can't know the one to deal with. But what I've seen also is that before the reprisal that David undertook, he asked God. David was a soldier, a musician, a man of war. Okay, you ask yourself, our soldiers in Nigeria, when they get this distress call that children are being moved in the bush from all over the place. Kidnappers are taking place. What is the level of distress and what is the swiftness in that their operations?
Do they run towards rescuing or do they run away?
Yeah, most of the times they are waiting for orders. Orders from inexplicable superiors who we don't know where they are until the enemy have taken hostage of our people. There was the boy that was rescued from this last kidnap spoke to BBC Hausa, and he said that while the kidnappers were moving them in the bush, that some of them were collapsing.
Wow.
They were so weak that some of them fell on the floor, and after some time they regained strength and kept pushing. Now, if the Nigerian army had responded like David did, when he prayed that short prayer and responded, perhaps some of our children
would have been rescued.
And there will be no need for the federal government to begin to look for £1 billion or to respond to, the ransom that the enemy is asking for. So first, choose ye this day whom you serve. Let us first of all subscribe to the gods we
want to serve.
Well, I was going to say Siri will not agree.
No, I have an intervention to make. I think that Judah Jumoke's case is built on two principal flanks. One is she is angling to see a society where there are results, where things are working. One, and number two, you are concerned about the efficacy of the God of either the God we are embracing now or the ones that we've left behind. The consequence.
Justice.
Yes,
we leave
sure.
justice in the hands of the God.
So, but the point is this. I know a little. You see, in the pantheon of deities, a pantheon is a place where gods are, come to. In a pantheon of deities, the stronger or the strongest God takes the lead.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And from the little I know about godhood, okay, you cannot speak for a God. You cannot fight for a God if truly God is.
Yes.
You cannot. God is owner. God is source.
Yes.
God is omnipotent. God is omnipresent. God is, he's omniscient.
He said, vengeance is mine.
So if you are talking about Shango, what was Shango? What was Amadia and so on.
Yes.
If these gods cannot stand up to do what it is they are known to do, it means that they've either traveled,
they are asleep,
have fled, are asleep. Well, we saw a contest in the Bible. But we're talking about the Bible earlier, where Elijah said,
"Call
upon your gods." They called from morning till night.
The
I
gods
can assure you,
answer.
anybody who has called on a God that's not answering is a dead God.
Okay, question to you,
now,
sir.
Yes.
The God of Nigeria.
Who is
him the Almighty.
Who is he?
Be him the Almighty.
By whose definition?
Because we all say that we worship the same God.
By whose definition? See the point that I'll draw you to again. The Israel of the Bible that was God's own nation,
yes,
chosen by God himself.
Yes.
Okay? Today's Israel
they are fighting wars.
Is populated by atheists. The Knesset the Israelis are atheists. Largely atheists. Because most of them came from Poland and Russia. Back to the homeland. They're largely atheists. You have a lot of atheists. There are even Israeli Muslims now.
Very much of them.
Okay?
Part of Jerusalem is not a mosque.
Yes, the Christian population of Israel is just growing. Is only growing now. Israel, by every measure of standard, is prosperous. They are not attributing that prosperity to God himself.
Anyway, let me
if you want us to face matter as it is, Nigeria's gods. There is even no Nigerian God really because Amadia is Igbo.
Yes.
Right? In the end, yes. Can you speak to Amadia in Yoruba and you respond?
Anyway, my point is this. From rounding up now, none of the gods have become impotent. Yes. I'm coming. Their worshippers have become impotent. Ooh. Yes, because you've mentioned the God of David. David proclaimed his God publicly. Today, with the influx of colonial mentality, practitioners loyal to Shango Ahmad now sneak to do it. Some of us show up on Sunday in church, front seat. And during the week, we sneak.
Like Nicodemus.
So those gods possibly, the Almighty God introduced himself to Moses as a jealous God. Yeah. Perhaps, without attempting to compare any God to the Almighty, those lesser deities have their proportion of jealousness.
Yeah.
For you to reject them in the afternoon and sneak back at night. But like Siri will tell yes, but like Siri has told us, the largest currencies in this world are domiciled in the Middle East, Kuwait, Oman, who are not professing God the Nigerian way, with churches littering every 100 meters. And like Siri just affirmed, which we know globally, they are developed. So I don't think the development problem, the retributive justice problem, the infrastructure development problem is a God-related problem.
So you are saying insecurity cannot be tied to the forces of Godhood?
No, it's tied to goodness in humanity.
Yes.
Man's respect for his fellow man's life and well-being.
Okay,
is
very good
this
example.
conversation will continue online because we cannot,
exhaust it.
And the fact that when you're double-minded, when you're lukewarm, you don't get anything from the Almighty, is one thing we want to take away from this conversation. When we come back, Jurasiri Labaku has an angle to the national question. Please stay with us, we'll be right back.
Middleman.
Yeah, welcome back to the Middleman of Juros. I am Jurasiri Abaku, and here is my case. Is Nigeria really so complex? Nigeria is so complex. Really, there isn't much anybody can do. Those are the words of former President Muhammadu Buhari, and they say a lot more than 60 plus years of everything ever done to, as they put it ever so often, move Nigeria forward. Whether it was a well-intended remark aimed at partisan sympathy or a subconscious revelation of deeper truth, the line was quite heavy and telling, and once let out, could not be taken back. But if Nigeria really is so complex, why is it really so complex? Why has real power slipped off the hands of those constitutionally empowered to lead the country? Where then does real power lie? There are non-state actors who work freely at the expense of fading state power. Now, Nigeria, I dare say, is a land of answers blighted by questions. It is the answer to the black man's destiny, but has become a habitation for his dystopia. Just as an example, numerous villagers are feared killed, and several others have been injured following an attack by suspected herdsmen in Ugbobi community in Apa local government area of Benue State. Recall that residents have deserted their homes, leaving the attackers to raise their houses and loot food items. Are you surprised this happened? I hope you're not. A native of the community lamented that the attack was on for more than 2 hours without any security operatives coming to challenge the attackers. I too wish I knew where the security personnel were myself. Verdict: the president has one of a few options. For example, he can revisit the 2014 confirmed report and pick what is relevant there. 2, he could convoke an emergency meeting of Nigeria's founding ethnic nationalities and seek for ways to build a new nation. 3, he could tour the country and build confidence in our national lessons, especially Tundumbiri, Gamborungala, OKUAMA, and all these other places. And 4, he can sit back and properly curate what can become the Nigerian dream. Until one or at least more of these are done, Nigeria may not be going anywhere significant. I so will.
This is your Nigerian dream, man. I don't know, maybe another 64 years, Sean. Yeah. If anybody starts to quote President Buhari in front of me, I wonder what they're doing.
Yes, the truth is that there's nothing complex about Nigeria. What has happened is that Buhari is intellectually stranded. Full stop. He has never been a man of intellect and could not have metamorphosized into that at old age. So
God bless you, sir.
It requires intellection. It requires planning, strategy, systems, and method to develop models to run countries.
True.
We had countries like Singapore. We had the UAE that was practically a desert at some point. Malaysia and the rest of them were
Thailand.
Practically countries that had nothing, that grew overnight through proper planning agriculture. The Netherlands and the Scandinavians were countries that took a decisions in the early 90s, and this is where they are. So we have not taken any decision whatsoever on what we want to do about the future of our country and the future of our children. Then you hear someone come to say
who has come twice. Who has come twice?
Yes, Nigeria is
1983 to 85, and then came back.
Nigeria is complex in what sense?
But my problem is,
it's complex in what sense?
Who are the we that have not?
When I mean we, I mean the leaders of this country, the leaders of thought.
And we are
so to say, have not come out with any clear strategy.
But I beg your pardon, there are plans in this country. There are plans.
Does that we, the leadership?
I will answer you. There are two.
It does not even exist. That's what I'm saying. That see, we talk about Nigeria as if Nigeria is one
like it's
place,
far away.
one place that the countries I just mentioned now, they barely have mineral resources. The countries that have turned whatever they have, yes, to this is prosperity. Here, you have the resources, you have the people, you have everything. You are intellectually stranded.
The right weather.
You don't know what to do with what you have.
But there are plans in this country. There are plans.
What is the good of
successive government?
Yes.
From, say, the recent civilian journey of 1999 till now. If a local government chairman, governor, minister, senator accents power, you can no more recognize them after 1 month. The plan has enriched them.
Okay.
That's the result of planning. And we've heard the latest voice of the planners, Ningi, on TV, telling us they are planning public. I want to disagree with you that there are no plans. The plan that we don't have is the type. If we draw inference from the last verdict on where are the gods, and we say God or no, we are not disputing the fundamental existence of a supernatural deity.
Yes.
But without painting ourselves with God, non-Christians, so to speak, in Kuwait, Qatar, have prospered.
Yes.
You've mentioned country, Thailand, Singapore. Now, some of them were in this country to take whatever it was to aid their development.
Strategically.
So here we are. Sorry, right people. For instance, let me put holes in the bag. A society may recognize a good person, so to speak. I will name just two. Professor Patu Tommy went to contest the election in Delta State. On the election date, he didn't know the venue. He was an
of the party primary.
Yes, we have today or recently a Peter Obi, rightly or wrongly, for the first time, I heard him say, if you like, support us. We don't have monies to share, to buy us. And there were legions of supporters. And that kind of man, yes.
It's a result. All the papers got taken away and thrown inside the bush.
So those kind of, the Tom Cruise movie, A Few Good Men, these good men are suffocated.
Why are we the people?
And this suffocation is the result of great planning. So we plan a lot strategically to destroy.
We need a new plan. You know what?
A growth plan, a development plan.
The plan that we need is a plan that the people will come together to hash.
Yes, sir.
Because those who lead us have misled us to a point where they have now told us that this budget you see, annual budget, there are some agencies and NDAs that we cannot declare.
It is those leading us that will still pick who will come and represent us.
That's what I'm saying.
And that's where the...
hold on, that this country, the people, I keep saying the people, because for their docility, and incapacitation, we would have gone farther than we are today.
Who are the docile people? The political leadership or the masses?
I'm talking about the masses.
The masses are docile?
Yes.
I disagree.
We must enthrone a plan.
We are not.
We must enthrone a plan that will displace that selfish, self-centered plan of our leaders.
I can speak on this table. Sorry, one second. We accuse the whites, we accuse Oyibo of giving us divide and rule. We accuse a particular ethnic group of creating divide. As we are sitting here now, there is a plan already in operation by the political elites to polarize the masses. And the docile masses, yes, and the docile masses all go to protest and get shot at. Is that docility?
You just mentioned docile masses.
Yes, the so-called docile masses.
May I say, if all of us say we are not docile and we're ready to die, how many will they kill before we overrun them?
That's a big question.
They kill one and we all run back home and say, oh, nobody wants to die.
We run back to embrace our mummies.
Yes, the people are docile. Look at the Arab Spring. By the time the people come out on the streets and you're seeing millions, do you know the population of Nigeria? Over 220 million. The world's greatest number of black people.
Oh well, Jordan Jumake, you've given us $1 million question that we'll have to go and ponder on. But in the meantime, we'll take a break now. When we come back, Juro Evans Ufeli will be speaking on jungle justice in OKUAMA. Stay with us.
Middleman.
Welcome back to the middleman of Juros. My case, jungle justice when it faces extrajudicial killings. It is jungle justice when the public lynches a suspect and brings him to death or punishment without handing him to the appropriate security agents. Extrajudicial killing when the law enforcement agent punishes or kills a suspect or offender without charging him to the court of law. Here, both the public and the law enforcement agents kills at will. In Nigeria, where the justice system is perceived to be slow and corrupt, people often resort to jungle justice and extrajudicial killing as a form of swift retribution. This practice is deeply rooted in societal frustration with the inadequacy of the legal system and the perceived lack of punishment for criminals. Over the last weekend, men of the armed forces were killed in OKUAMA community in Ueli South local government area of Delta State, resulting to a reprisal attack wherein the army extrajudicially murdered villagers, leveling the entire community with scores killed and many injured. The victims of jungle justice and extrajudicial killing are often individuals accused of crimes like theft, robbery, and even ritual killings. Some are innocent citizens trailed by the malevolent hand of misfortune. They are often caught by an angry mob and subjected to severe beating, torture, or even burned alive. The perpetrators believe that by inflicting pain on the alleged criminals, they are delivering justice and deterring others from engaging in criminal activities. The significant challenge with jungle justice and extrajudicial killing is that it denies the accused individual their fundamental rights, including the rights to a fair trial. Innocent people have been mistakenly identified and killed, leading to loss of innocent life. The lack of evidence or proper investigation means that the wrong people can suffer from these acts of violence. Moreover, jungle justice and extrajudicial killing often exacerbates the cycle of violence and lawlessness. It further erodes faith in the legal system and can foster a culture of vigilantism, where individuals take the laws into their own hands instead of relying on established institutions. The Nigerian government, human rights organizations, and civil society have continuously condemned jungle justice and called for an end to this practice. Efforts have been made to improve the justice system, increase police presence, and enhance trust in the legal system. However, these actions alone are not enough to eradicate jungle justice. My verdict: the root causes of jungle justice and extrajudicial killing requires a multifaceted approach. This includes improving the efficiency and effectiveness of the legal system to ensure prompt justice delivery, strengthening the law enforcement agency to combat crime, raising public awareness about the negative consequences of jungle justice, and working towards community-oriented solution to crime prevention. It is essential for the Nigerian government to take decisive action to address the lack of confidence in the justice system and ensure that individuals have faith in the state's ability to dispense justice. By doing so, they can work towards eliminating the culture of jungle justice and extrajudicial killing to promote the rule of law in Nigeria. I shall go to Rabbi again.
The killing of soldiers in OKUAMA, actually, there are divergent stories to what caused it, right? First, the army said they were on a peacekeeping mission to OKUAMA, or they were on a rescue mission. And then there are conspiracies.
They didn't come out to say that, it was just in the report.
Okay.
The army didn't come out to say that.
Okay,
just in the news that they were.
They were. And then there are conspiracies that, no, you were going to arrest some villagers, they resisted and killed a few of you. You needed to cover up that story. That's why you are saying this, you know. And regardless of what the root cause, right, we condemn the killings of anyone extrajudicially, right? Reprisal, however, is not the answer. Two wrongs will never make it right. I remember the Odi killings under President Obasanjo. One soldier was killed. Yes, they did wrong. Then you went and razed the entire village or town, leaving no human being alive. That is not going to bring back the dead. And that is injustice, because you are going to be killing innocent people. The way we say an armed robber has right to his day in court, to prove that, oh, I stole or I didn't steal, before you hang him. You shouldn't just then go into a village and say, oh, it is you people who decided, bloody civilians, you want to kill a soldier, and then just go and start shooting and killing innocent people. I think the government should make a very, very decisive retribution on this.
Yes, now you see the fault is on both sides. That's why I titled my case Jungle Justice when it faces extrajudicial killing. You see, when you talk jungle justice, the Nigerian people are the harbingers of jungle justice. Once there's an allegation,
because you have lost confidence.
Once there's an allegation, hold on, I'll get to the reason. Once there's an allegation, okay, and they're able to pin down the suspect, the next thing is that they feel the suspect have no
right
other option or right to defend
or even dignity.
Or they feel that even if he's arrested or you call the police, he'll be free. So
yes,
they take laws into their hands. Okay, now they kill the victim. Conversely, the police, the soldiers, the army, sometimes they arrest suspects and they just take them into the bush and kill them extrajudicially.
Oh, remember how the leader of OKUAMA was killed?
So you see that is why they say that the people deserve the kind of leadership they get. It is what the society actually give out. That's what they receive.
Okay.
In the case under reference, okay, when it's in the hand of a security agent, it's called extrajudicial killing.
Yes.
When it's in the hands of the public,
it's called jungle justice.
Called jungle justice. So when you put both together, jungle justice, when it faces extrajudicial killing, we are saying the same thing. The same people.
It becomes a conflagration.
Yes. The same people, the same action, different nomenclature. We are not following the law, whether you're on uniform or not. We are not following the law. We don't believe that the other person have self-dignity or human rights, or we should put him under a certain level of protective custody before he faces his crime.
Is Nigeria a failed state?
So much has been said.
It's not failed.
See, it is failing.
No, the social contracts has failed.
So much has been said. Yes. So much has been said about the condolences that are due to the army, which I can't stop giving. My father was an ex-officer, so well, he was in the army, so I can understand what it means. Okay, that's one.
Human lives, regardless of its
size. And then, of course, I have also seen firsthand what could become of a town that fell victim to killing soldiers and stuff like that. But I think that I'm glad you raised the point of Mohammed Yusuf, the founder of Boko Haram.
Yes, he was killed
extrajudicially. The way he was killed gave rise to what we have today.
Yes.
That's one.
The grievance is still there.
Exactly.
Yes.
Now, if you look at, and that would be the first time. If you look at World War II, as bad as it was, I hope we know that the world is better today because of the way World War II was handled.
Yes, they learned from World War
Yeah,
War.
from World War II, we got UN.
Exactly.
Armistice.
Then
The League of Nations collapsed
Yes.
after First World War.
Because since the League of Nations could not prevent World War II.
Then, very importantly, I wanted to point to the Nuremberg trials.
Yes.
Because when they caught Hitler's henchmen, they didn't kill them.
Yes.
They put them on trial. It was the first time the world was seeing what they now call crimes against humanity. Before then, it wasn't there.
Yes.
It was Hitler that made the world to coin what was called crime against humanity. See, that was civilization.
Same like Saddam Hussein.
Now, good.
They didn't just hang him.
Now you look at what lesson did Nigeria learn from the Civil War.
We don't learn lessons.
How did we become better because of the war? What is going on in OKUAMA and Delta State for me is that we are not moving towards civilization. Because all what I'm saying is fury. The army has come to say that it was the entire OKUAMA community that conspired to kill soldiers. It is this.
How is that even possible? Did they have a village meeting?
In propaganda studies, we call this there's a name we call it something generalization.
Yes, so
you are just putting everybody in the same black.
Hasty generalization.
It is not possible. When we've not had in the so-called peace mission event, we've not had who invited who made the distress call.
The chief of army staff have a question to answer.
So there are issues.
It's not every time they go to National Assembly to ask for more money.
There are issues.
Now that there's problem, he should come and tell us who made that order.
Goodness gracious.
Yes.
And there should be clarification.
That order, because I know how we use the army in Nigeria. When somebody is owing you money now, and your brother is in the army, you call your brother, somebody is owing you money, he will bring his friends who are in the army and collect them and help you to collect the money.
This is the situation.
So
this is the problem.
This is not too far away from what has happened, because one of the community leaders who spoke, one of the boys in the community, said that the army did not come for
peacekeeping.
Yes, that the army, their community was reported to the army. And the army came to their community in response to that report. That they were reporting.
And it could be selfish. It may not be a public report.
Yes, so is it the army does not have jurisdiction over civil.
I don't want to make a single comment. The comment I have is all through my life. There is this exaggerated value given the army uniform. I'm sorry to use that word. Like there's the feeling that once somebody wears an army cloth, you are passing in an area where people have to hands up and be searched. That person is excluded. There's no telling if that's the victim or culprit. There is also this feel I've seen around Oshodi. By the time you kill one army man, they will return to that market. The man was killed in the morning, say 10. Around 6, people are coming from work. Whoever they see,
they will wipe them.
So there is this feeling that if you, for one military, there are times the army themselves attack police.
Yes, now.
For searching or delaying. So maybe so some people who are driving their vehicle will put army clothes on there. That's what I'm talking about. Let's simplify everybody as citizens, whether extrajudicial now or jungle justice, and give uniform respect to life.
Yeah. But again, when we agree
to life,
we agree on uniform respect to life. But see, the U.S. Army, the people, the citizens respect them because they have devoted their lives.
They are the service.
The people.
Service.
Yeah. Why is it that the Nigerian army, it is fear instead of respect that we have for them?
I can give an answer.
Okay, so we have actually exhausted this segment. When we come back, Your Innocent Adoluba will be making a case for the use of local Nigerian football coaches. Stay back and go away.
Middleman.
Welcome back. In case you're just joining us, you are still on to the Middleman of Jurors on Enterprise TV, holding the tradition of truth. I'm Juro Innocent and I'm pushing the case for local coaches in Nigeria. Can Nigeria sustain local coaches? Are there still need for foreign coaches? Because recently the Nigerian Football Federation has appointed George Finidi in an interim capacity as the senior coach of the Super Eagles. George is a former Super Eagles player and coach of Enyimba FC of Aba. He's a well-decorated player who made a name for himself at Ajax in the Netherlands. which won 8 major titles, including the Champions League in 1995. He played for several years in Spain with Real Betis and had a brief spell in England before retiring. Finidi was an important member of the Nigerian team during the 90s. He has appeared in 2 World Cups. And barely 3 weeks after the departure of Jose Peseiro, Finidi has been appointed. Peseiro had led Nigeria to finish in a silver position in Côte d'Ivoire just this year. Finidi was an assistant during Peseiro's 2-year reign. He debuted in 1991, traveling through Calabar Rivers, Sharks FC before moving to Europe. He has scored 1 goal and assisted 4 others for the immortal Rashidi Yekini. Finidi has also helped the latter score Nigeria's first ever FIFA World Cup goal against Bulgaria in Dallas at the USA 94. My verdict is it's good the NFF are looking the way of local coaches. Shouldn't they keep faith with these local coaches? Any need to still go ahead to appoint foreign coaches, gentlemen?
We have tried Stephen Keshi, and we saw that he was fantastic at his work.
He delivered. He was glorious.
So it's not for lack of expertise in terms of local coaches. The likes of Kanu Ako are still there. There is Okocha, JJ Okocha. So they're very much available. I was going to joke that
Emmanuel Amonike.
Oga Finidi George, when everybody is jackpotting, you are coming back home as an expatriate.
No.
But the difference in a foreign coach is the instrumentality of their practice abroad as opposed to what is obtainable in Nigeria. So we pay lip service to sports in Nigeria. We allocate a lot of money, and I have several examples that I can give. The last World Cup, what's this guy's name? He was in Chelsea as their
John Obi Mikel.
Mikel Obi had to pay for their hotel from his pocket. Their trip to the US was via one country. They hooped in that country. Meanwhile, minister, he's still a minister. He wasn't that long, the Yoruba man.
Sunday,
God will bless you, reached America before the players who were going to play in the US.
He is their foreigner.
He's not new now.
So the point is the instrumentality that is different. The foreign coaches, there's a system that works where they are coming. It's like saying a Nigerian president now should go and be American president where there are systems. You will want to behave
the
like
foreign
Donald
coaches
Trump
are
now.
paid heavily in dollars and better treated.
The difference between the foreign coaches and the local coaches, I think, it has to do with discipline. Sometimes, because now we don't really get, even the government, the way the government will respond to funding a local coach is different from the way we respond to funding a foreign coach.
Because you know what? Adding the budget.
Yeah, because you know what? The foreign coaches will not joke with the terms of their contract.
Yes, true.
And they will be honest and want to see it through.
True.
Okay. Over here, we can do it the back door way. We are a special kind of people. Okay, we can decide to tweak things and do it in a way that.
You want to paddle to the
If
way
you
of
listen,
the minister.
when they interview these coaches that have coached our local team, Sondolise was the ones in the mainstream.
Yes.
He coached now.
Yes.
And recently was saying that the federal government wants him to
He can still come back.
And all that. We saw how he left. Okay.
Acrimoniously.
Yes, we have seen the NFF chairman. What's the name of the other one?
Amaju
Pinnick fighting back and forth.
The accusations and
counter
accusations of what do you call it, fraud and the rest of that. So many things like that. I don't see any difference between the foreign coaches and the local coaches. The only difference there is that, if I would say, is that one is disciplined, the other is not. And that is why they get stranded all the time. Under this man, for this World Cup, for this World Cup, were they ever stranded anywhere?
No.
They were not.
Okay, ahead of Cyril, let me chip in. In Côte d'Ivoire, who hosted the last AFCON, after the group stage war, where they finished third, the same with Nigeria, they sacked their foreign coach and used the local assistant who has gone all the way to apex glory. So, yes, so, I mean...
Yes, but I think that a few Nigerian coaches have done well. Amadou Shabu qualified us for the World Cup. It's the second time in 2010. Then they brought a foreign coach who we now know from every iota of evidence that it was for a backdoor deal. Okay, and it was agreed after the tournament.
The German one?
No, that was from Sweden. From the tournament,
Last Lagerback.
As the World Cup ended in South Africa, he didn't even come back. yes, of course. Amadou Shabu was not that qualified, and he would have done. In fact, he would have been the only black coach at the tournament. He was denied that opportunity. Now, I think that maybe since after Westerhoff, we've not had any foreign coach who really came for the game per se.
Yeah.
True.
Okay, that's one. But the only thing that I know has been the challenge with local coaches, which you alluded to it in part, about discipline. The real truth is that local coaches lack certain specializations.
Yeah.
They don't pay attention to
Some
details.
technical.
Yes. So, for example, you remember that even when Westerhoff was in Nigeria, whenever Nigerian teams were playing against Northern African countries in CAF tournaments, they will tell the foreign coach to go and support the local coach. 2 Nations Cups ago, Eguavon was leading a team that looked like we were going to win the tournament. Do you remember? We were winning 3-0, 4-0 like that in the group stages. The first knockout match,
We lost.
our keeper made an error, and Tunisia or Egypt, they punished us for it. So even the players tell you that the foreign coaches pay attention to every little detail.
Yes.
In England, coaches like Jurgen Klopp, every morning they come to train, they'll take their blood and spittle and check their stamina rates. Even tell them what food to eat.
Yes. And what drink. And
what drink to
and
drink.
where not to go.
And where not to go. But in Nigeria, we are still in that. I don't know what to call it now. Now, among the people who are running to be local coaches, Sondo Lise, Emmanuel Munike, Samson Siasia, and George Finidi, they've all shown promise. And I'll give you an example. Siasia took us on the 20 World Cup. We reached the finals. We lost Argentina. 2 years later, I think, Olympic Games, same thing against the same Argentine team again. Yeah. We lost. Okay? Then
What's it with Argentina? What's it with Argentina?
Well, then at that level, FIFA in those tournaments, if it's 50-50, they'll give it to the North Americans. So then you now come to Amunike. Amunike is a good coach. He led our under 17 boys to win the World Cup, under 17 World Cup with Victor Osimhen and co. That was Amunike's creation. All right. Then you come to Amunike again. He was always
at the Olympic
Tanzania to qualify for the first time in their history.
Yes.
So he's a good coach, clearly.
And for now, his records have no blemish.
Then you look at someone like Finidi George, who went to take Enyimba to win the local league in Nigeria. It's not an easy thing. But it may seem that Ulysses is the most qualified on paper to lead it, because that discipline you're talking about, Ulysses is too disciplined, and they hate him for it. He's too forthright.
That is why he cannot
succeed. He's not diplomatic. Yes.
But if you were a foreigner, they will listen to him.
Yes. Sorry, say why. There's another special skill of the Nigerian Football Federation. The foreign coaches they hire, they have a specialization in excavating names that are not on the global coaching map.
No, so the thing is,
because where you sit, Ghana will employ an Avram Grant. You see a Hervé Renard from Zambia to Morocco, Cote d'Ivoire. You hear established coaching flying around. But by the time the Nigerian Federation unveils their own, that's when you and your Google will start trying to know where this man was. He from?
Because sometimes it's racket now.
Well,
not sometimes, all the time. Most of the time.
And I hear quota system is also slotted on your selection.
In a way, in defense of that thing, Otto Gloria was our coach in 1980 when we won the Nations Cup for the first time. He was a Brazilian. I don't know what Otto Gloria had done before he came to Nigeria. Clement Westerhoff was a five division coach in Holland. He brought him. So that we can discover coaches who come to build our team.
Even Bonfrere Joe.
Yes, Joe was assistant to
Westerhoff.
Now it was only Amadou Pinnick, because of his elitist standings, that wanted to bring, was it Ruth Gullit or one of those established European coaches? The person looked at, he said, because of Ebola. But of course he was the one saying, I don't want to come. He didn't come. The point is, if
at that time Cameroon had the duo of Clarence Seedorf and Patrick Kluivert.
Even Ghana,
two of them.
In this last Nations Cup, they took a former coach in the EPL.
Yes.
What's
his name?
To one of the coaches at Borussia Dortmund.
You know, those are established names. But if Nigeria give you a name.
Westerhoff came back to Nigeria, built a coaching school where he was training young boys.
Kwara Football Academy.
Is this still
I don't know if
Yes,
it's
it is.
But now the issue is, if we have that potential, right, and we can do well internationally, why can we not, as people who know ourselves and our indiscipline, as it were, coach ourselves? Why
I can give
must
an
we?
example.
Westerhoff couldn't speak the English language fluently.
Yes.
But he got results.
But he got results.
Now,
So
yes.
what it means is not even by...
He has said it now, it's the tactics.
Yes. So Lise's elder brother, Churchill Lise, has an academy, okay, somewhere in Ogun State also, FC Bede. That's where half of the boys you saw that played this Nations Cup came from. Not from the national team. Meanwhile, Richard Obokere was a Nigerian player in 1980. For whose sake his school had to tell WAEC that they should hold on. He was going to play ball for Nigeria comeback. Once secondary school football is dead. But again, the point is that Nigeria has natural talents in football. They are bound everywhere.
Yes.
So what we need to do is to adopt the Dutch model. They don't win big trophies, but their football is a big brand globally. Can we look
developmental?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm a good football.
Thank you. It shows that we should go back to school grade football, the ones that produce the Keshis and all of them. And the conversation continues. Enterprise TV holding the tradition of truth. We are coming to the end of today's episode of Middlemen. We hope you enjoyed every bit of it. Kindly do well to leave a comment in the section and follow on all our social media handles at Enterprise TV 7. Until we come your way again, I'm Juro Innocent Adulugba. Bye for now.
Middleman.
Enterprise TV, a tradition of truth.